Okay, there we go. I just had to ignore them. Whoever that was, sorry, but they keep opening messages, like they keep opening the chat window, but there's nothing in there. They're not saying anything to me. It just keeps popping up on my screen. So I don't know what they're doing, but it's annoying. Um, anyway, all right, the T28 Org. Urgh. Okay, the armor, the front armor is good. The side armor is worthless. The rear armor is worthless. I had thought, looking at this, I'll be honest, T28, I'm kind of underwhelmed. I'm a little disappointed with it. But this is hilarious right here, that you can actually be this tank with that 90 millimeter. I can't imagine how crappy that's got to be. Playing a T28 with a little dinky 90 millimeter, fighting tier 10 stuff. Ugh, screw that noise. All right, okay. It's slow. It's sluggish, especially coming from the T25, which is a pretty zippy little vehicle. It's just slow. I can't even begin to just... It's so slow. Oh god, you could barely move. Even with the upgraded... I haven't upgraded the engine yet. Haha, right. Well, I'm betting it's not going to improve much. But right now, stock engine, it's pathetic. Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, it's a 1. It's a 1. You can barely move. It's like playing a heavy tank where the engine has been damaged or something. Wow. Wow, that one person that I ignored, the message box popped up anyway, and you know, obviously without anything in there again. Anybody know like what's up with that? Like how people just send you messages with nothing in them? Because that is annoying as hell. Anyway. So here's the T28. The problem with the frontal armor, the 254 millimeters, is it's like right here and then right here the armor is thinner, and also here the armor is thinner. I think here and here it's around like 200 millimeters, which is still decent, but it's not like the impervious. I thought it was going to be just like impervious from the front. And when I fight tier 9 and 10 stuff, I'll get penetrated from the front all the time, and it's just at that point, I kind of feel like why bother having the armor if I'm going to get penetrated from the front anyway? Why not just be lighter and faster? So, yeah. I think basically what this is this vehicle is just like a shallow impersonator of the actual T95. Now the T95, that frontal armor is the real deal. 305 millimeters, and it's much, much better. And even the side armor is much better, and the double tracks provide more protection. And it has a beastly, hellish gun, the tier 10 155. So that's what I'm grinding for. And they're probably about the same maneuverability. I mean, I can't imagine it getting worse. 13 speed limit. What tonnage are you? How much do you weigh? 86 tons with a engine of 510 horsepower. And you are 62 tons with a max engine of 510 horsepower. Okay, it is going to be more sluggish then, if that has a worse weight to power ratio. But I think it'll be worth it, because the T28, my gripe is that it's sluggish without feeling like it has any protection to show for how sluggish it is. That's the big problem. When I fight tier 9s and 10s in this and they pin me from the front, I'm just like, I just flip a table and I'm like, why bother with the armor in the first place? That's how I feel. Also, the matchmaking, I feel it kind of sucks for it. I just don't think the T28 should be fighting tier 10 stuff. It seems underpowered. Maybe I just got my hopes up too much. I don't know. Also, it's very expensive to run, even with a premium account. The repairs for this thing are expensive, and I can lose. I've lost money on losses on this with a premium account, which sucks. But anyway. Alright, back to the tech tree. Let's talk about this line. This thing kind of sucks, and I would get through it as fast as possible. This thing is good. The reason the M2 is good is because of this right here. The 75mm howitzer, fleeing high explosives. If it pins a tier 1 or 2, they'll go boom. It's easy to, this thing is fast, maneuverable, and has a powerful gun. So you can run in and flank enemies, shoot them in the side, get good pin on that 75mm, and they'll go down. Fun tank. I like it. Do I have it right now? Do I have the M2? Yeah. I was actually playing it. Here's what it looks like with the second turret upgrade. You definitely want that turret, I think. Much better armor. Yeah. First turret kind of sucks. Open top, though. Open top, so if you get hit by artillery, you're fucked. Good tank. Good tank. This thing here, let's see. This thing here, T2, medium. I can't think of anything this thing has going for it. I mean, it doesn't have any remarkable guns. It doesn't have any, maybe the tier 9 radio, use it as a scout and higher tier with a tank company. Meh. I'd say if you're in this thing, grind to the M2, and if you're going to stay in a lower tier tank for the fun of it, make it the M2 because of this gun right here. This is the gun you want in this thing. Alright, M3 Lee. M3 Lee. What can I say about the M3 Lee? It is an odd tank, and for that reason alone, I like it. It kind of sucks, because I'm pretty sure it's got a 20mm up in that turret, that secondary turret, but the game doesn't let you use that. And if it actually lets you use that, you could actually accomplish things with a 20mm autocannon up in the turret. Or even a 50 caliber. Shooting people in the side or something, you know? Or shooting at them as you run away or move, or shooting at light tanks. You know, you could, you can, at tier 4, you can still accomplish things with a 20mm or a 50 cal. But it's got this gun right here. And this gun is remarkable in that it has a very high rate of fire. 3-second reload times with 100% there. 20 rounds is, yeah, 3 seconds. That is awesome. It is also, it has this side sponson here. It has the gun on the very side of the tank, so you can use the right side of your tank and expose the right side of your tank around a corner, and they can only see that gun sponson and your treads. And if they shoot your treads, who gives a crap? It's better than hitting your hull and dealing HP damage to you. So you can snipe like that. It's a very unique vehicle. I've played it a lot, and I thought it was fun. It's the armor is a little light. 51mm at tier 4 is and the slope is not that great. It's got some weak spots. The whole tank has got weak spots. When I run into a Lee with a tier 5 vehicle, I'm just like, oh, a Lee, here's a free kill. That's how I feel, kind of. Just because it's big and boxy and it's got lots of weak spots, and the armor is not very thick. With the Lee, you definitely want to snipe with it. It's kind of a rude awakening if all you're used to is turreted tanks, and here you suddenly have what is essentially a tank destroyer. That's basically what it feels like. That's how you have to play it. Play the Lee like a sniper, hang in the back, use your high rate of fire on this gun right here. This is the gun you want. Accuracy's not horrible, and I think the accuracy's better than this one, right? Oh God! Oh good God! 40. Oh, that's horrible. Okay, yeah. Jesus, that looks like a huge improvement compared to the other one. Good accuracy. Yeah, good accuracy. I mean, not good accuracy, good refire rate. That's the remarkable thing about it. And for 92, tier 4 is decent. Might struggle with a KV's frontal armor. But other than that, you should pin most things. It is, I think it is a little, it can be fast. 38, it's a 28-ton vehicle with 440 horsepower. So, yeah, it can feel a little on the zippy side. You're not going to win any, races, but at least your acceleration should be decent with a medium tank. And your turning speed, I could have sworn I had these. Oh, right. That was beta, and everything got wiped. Her. But yeah, I had this in beta. 43 degrees a second of traverse speed. That's pretty good. So despite not having a turret, you should be able to rotate fairly quickly. That's about all there is to the Lee. I would, if you're going to play a Lee, if you're grinding through it, I should say, you ought to play it as a sniper. And remember the trick to peek around corners with your right side, and that'll hide your this big vulnerable body here. Other than that, that's about all I have to say. Alright, let's talk about this thing. I love this thing. This thing is great. This thing just, I ought to, well, no, to lead it, I have to research all this stuff. I am on the way to the, let's take a look at the tech tree. I'm on the way to the T29, because I had the T29 in beta, and I loved it. It looks awesome. The second turret with the battleship style, I think they're rangefinders, is what they are, the little boxy ear things that stick off the side of the turret. I believe they're rangefinders, and they're the same type of rangefinders used on like battleship turrets, I think. It's just cool looking. It's sexy. There, I said it. I think a tank is sexy. It looks awesome. I want it back. I had it in beta, so I'm grinding my way to it. And I'm taking the route. I don't like the T1. The M6 is tolerable, but I hate the T1. And I want to go from the M4 to the, what is this, the Jumbo Sherman? And then from the Jumbo to the T29 here. That's the route I want to take. Okay, the Sherman. This thing is awesome. It's quick, it's maneuverable, it's got pretty good turret armor for hold down tactics. It'll occasionally bounce stuff, especially from lower tier tanks. You don't want to try to trade hits with something like a KV, but then again, what other tank in tier 5 would want to? Oh wait, I know who would want to. The stupid steel potato French tank, but I'll get to that later. Right, I don't even have this researched. Well, you can probably tell what my favorite strategy is. This gun right here. This gun right here is borderline OP. And it's so good at tier 5. That much like that much high explosive damage, slinging that around, you put that amount of damage at a pretty good refire rate, by the way, on a nimble tank like the Sherman, where it can scoot around and take shots at people with that. It's just a fun tank to play. It's a lot of fun. I think if you're new to World of Tanks, and you don't know what to do, I would say grind your way to a Sherman and get this 105 and get the Sherman fully upgraded and just keep the Sherman forever and keep it around forever as just a fun tank to make money with, because it's a good tank to make money with. Let me go take a look at the Sherman. Hi, Sherman. Service. Yeah, the high explosive shells are pretty cheap. I like that about it. Hey, you know what shells aren't cheap, by the way? These. The AP shells on the T28. It's 1,000 a piece. Ugh. Yeah, the Sherman, the shells on the Sherman are cheap, I think. These high explosive ones, and you can just spam them around, and uh, because they'll always, yeah, at tier 5, that 105 HE is always going to cause damage. I don't think there's a thing, I don't think there's anything that a Sherman can be match made up against where a 105 HE will not accomplish something against it. So no matter what you do, no matter what angle you shoot at, the HE is always going to cause damage, and that's why I think it's a fun tank to play, because it's just, you don't have to worry, you don't have to sit there and be like, all right, if I shoot him at this angle, is this shell going to bounce off or will it penetrate? No, screw that. Just shoot him. Just shoot him. That's all you got to think about. So really fun tank to play. I would suggest that everybody getting into this game gets themselves a Sherman with the 105 on it and just enjoy it. As far as I did just get this thing back again. I'm not sure what I'm going to put in on this. I'm probably thinking the rammer, maybe. And then, ooh, after the rammer, I'm really not sure. But right now I've just got the toolbox and the camo net for no other reason than they're free to move around and it's better than an empty spot. The toolbox is actually decent. 25% to repair speed on a medium tank. It's, if you get tracked, having that speed to get your tracks back up is kind of nice. So yeah, I like that. I like that aspect of it. And it looks like our person is back. Let's see. Oh, hey, look! An empty chat box that just pops up. Heck, that might even be a bug. I don't know. I don't know. If somebody could explain that to me, why that happens, I would love to know that. But it happens to me all the time. I just get boxes with random people's names, and there's nothing in them at all. There's no message or anything. Alright. So there's the Sherman. Awesome tank. I love the Sherman. Okay, at this tier, you also have the T1 Heavy. I just don't like it. I don't like it. I'm sorry. I grounded my way to it, and at the time I played it, it's just, you know what the problem is? I'll show you right now what the problem is. The problem is that let's see, how badly did they gut you? The problem is that, and the problem is that too, and the problem is, where's the big problem? Where's the big problem? There it is. There's the big problem right there. These are why I don't really like the T1 Heavy. I think it's more maneuverable and a little more sprightly than the other heavy tanks, but meh. Okay, let's go back to the T1 Heavy. Move out of my way. Let's put these up here. So let's go back to it and take a look at what it offers as far as guns go. Alright, let's see what these pro-American guns do. Alright. Cool. I guess. I mean, maybe. What about this one? That is garbage. So it's got one good gun. It's got one decent gun. But the KV gives you two options, two decent guns right here. And then the French tank is overpowered. It's overpowered. The tier 7 gun on a French tank, on the tier 5 French tank, is busted. Meh. I said it there. Now, there used to be something even more broken. I'll go ahead and show it to you. Let's go find it. The KV used to be one tank, and they split it into two tanks. There's the KV2. And the KV at tier 5 used to have this. Now, take a look at those stats and tell me the problem of that going up against, oh, I don't know, tier 4 vehicles. Yeah, that was busted as hell. Slightly less busted, but hilarious, was the derp gun here. The reason this thing was not busted, in my opinion, was because of the refire rate and the accuracy. It's basically a self-propelled, it's an SPG gun on a heavy tank. It's inaccurate as hell, and the reload speed is, I think it's something like 25 seconds maybe. 2.5 shots per minute, so yeah, 50 and yeah, 50 seconds. Yeah, about 25 seconds. And I can't count the number of times I've been using the derp gun, which is what this thing's called by the community, on the KV back in beta, and because it sticks out, it's a very obvious gun, and people notice, and they just, as soon as I shoot, they'll drive around the corner and swarm me, and I get killed because they know it takes a year and a half to reload. This thing, on the other hand, is enough to still one-shot a lot of vehicles at lower tier. But they fixed it. They moved it. They took it off the KV and gave it to the KV2, and now all the KV2 has is, what is this thing? Oh, that's accurate and penetrates a lot and shoots fast. That's a decent gun too. Okay, never mind. The KV has 3 decent guns. 3 good options here. You just have more options in the Soviet tank. I suppose it's like the T1's not terrible. It's just the other tier 5 heavies seem better. And my entire time playing the T1 heavy, I felt like I was just kind of mediocre, and I was just kind of waiting to get to another vehicle. The armor is decent though, and it's got a lot of engine power compared to the weight, and yeah, that gets it. And so it's got good acceleration for how big it is. I think it's probably a decent vehicle to ram with. So I guess if you want to pick the T1 heavy, if you like mobility, it sits up high, which can be a good thing and a bad thing. Usually I want to say it's a bad thing, but sitting up higher can let you peek over rocks and get a shot out and then duck back, and then they might not be expecting that. It's a mixed bag.